All right, and also at the stroke of midnight, several iconic landmarks across the world went dark in tribute to the victims of the Sri Lankan bombings. Operators of these iconic landmarks stated that it was a move to not only honor the victims, but also reach out to the families of the victims, mentioning that the world grieves with them for their loss. The Paris' iconic monument, the Eiffel Tower, switched off its lights. The announcement was made on Twitter in a post which stated that at 12 a.m. the power would turn off and the lights would also be turned off in memory of the Sri Lankan victims' attack. And also the building of the Israeli Tel Aviv municipality was also lit with a Sri Lankan flag in tribute to the victims of the terrible terror attack. Meanwhile, different nations and world leaders have condemned the ghastly attack in Sri Lanka. Messages have started pouring in from different parts of the world. Chinese President Xi Jinping and also Chinese Premier Li Keqiang sent their condolence messages to their Sri Lankan counterparts just hours after the multiple deadly attacks shook the country. The President Xi Jinping said that the Chinese government and the people will very firmly stand by the people of Sri Lanka and support the Sri Lankan government's efforts to maintain national security and stability. Meanwhile, Chinese Premier Li Keqiang has also sent condolences to the Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe over the attacks. And India has also strongly condemned the serial blast. In a statement released by India, the government has extended its deepest condolences to the people of Sri Lanka. India has called for the expeditious action against the perpetrators. Now, the statement reads, and I quote here, India has always opposed and rejected terrorism in all of its forms and manifestations and has urged concerted action by the international community against terror, including cross-border terrorism. There can be no justification whatsoever for any act of terror, unquote. And also India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a telephonic conversation with President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe of Sri Lanka and has conveyed his heartfelt condolences on his behalf and also on behalf of all Indians.
श्रीलंका के हमारे पड़ोस में आतंकवादी ने खूनी खेल खेला, निर्दोषों को मार दिया। भाइयों बहनों, आतंकवाद कितना भयंकर है, हर दिन दुनिया में कहीं न कहीं धरती को खून के रंग सा रंग दिया जाता है। आज श्रीलंका में जो कुछ भी हुआ है, श्रीलंका वासियों के प्रति भारत पूरी मजबूती के साथ खड़ा है। ऐसी संकट की घड़ी में भारत श्रीलंका की जो भी मदद कर सकता है, हर मदद के लिए तैयार है।
And also Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan has also called out the horrific terror attack that happened on Easter Sunday. He has expressed Pakistan's complete solidarity with the people of Sri Lanka in this hour of their grief. And US President Donald Trump has also offered his heartfelt condolences. Trump has said that the United States stands ready to help the people of Sri Lanka cope. And this is the tweet that he has put out, where he has said 138 people have been killed in Sri Lanka, with more than 600 being badly injured in a terror attack on churches and hotels. The United States offers heartfelt condolences to the great people of Sri Lanka. We stand ready to help. And the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo in a statement has confirmed that several U.S. citizens are amongst those being killed in the string of blasts that took place in Sri Lanka yesterday. He's also said, and I quote him here, the U.S. Embassy is working tirelessly and very closely to provide all possible assistance to the American citizens affected by the attacks and their families. And Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has offered his condolences to the people of Sri Lanka. He's tweeted that the attack was an assault on all of humanity. And British Prime Minister Theresa May has also condemned the attacks, describing them as truly appalling. This is the tweet that she has put out. The acts of violence against churches and hotels in Sri Lanka are truly appalling, and my deepest sympathies go out to all those who have been affected at this tragic time. We must stand together to make sure that no one should ever have to practice their faith in fear. And the French President Emmanuel Macron has issued a statement saying that France was deeply saddened by the terror attacks. Macron said, and I quote him here, "We firmly condemn these odious acts and stand by the people of Sri Lanka." And Russian President Vladimir Putin's office has put out this statement stating that Vladimir Putin has expressed his condolences to Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena in connection with the tragic consequences of the terror acts. An Australian Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, has also condemned the horrific attack and has offered heartfelt sympathies and support.
The Australian government condemn these further terrorist attacks that we've seen. Bombings in Sri Lanka of Christians as they went to worship on Easter Sunday. Bombings in hotels, all coordinated as part of a deadly terrorist attack. Sri Lanka hasn't seen this form of violence since 2009 when the hostilities ceased in that country. And to the beautiful people of Sri Lanka, Australia sends its heartfelt sympathies and our prayers and our support and our offer to do whatever we can to support you in this terrible time of need.
And Pope Francis has termed the attacks as cruel violence and said that he was close to the Christian community who were attacked while celebrating Easter Mass in his prayers.
Ho preso con tristezza e dolore la notizia dei gravi attentati che proprio oggi, giorno di Pasqua, hanno portato lutto e dolore in alcune chiese e altri luoghi di ritrovo nello Sri Lanka. Desidero manifestare la mia affettuosa vicinanza alla comunità cristiana, colpita mentre era raccolta in preghiera, e a tutte le vittime di così crudele violenza. Affido al Signore quanti sono tragicamente scomparsi e prego per i feriti e tutti coloro che soffrono a causa di questo drammatico evento.